Hi, welcome back to Kalike. So this time we are taking some more numericals again on Coulomb's law, but not from textbook or not from any other book, but it is from previous board question papers. So these questions that we are solving right now have been taken from previous year's examination questions, the board examination questions specifically from various states. So this is going to be quite interesting. There you'll get more practice. You'll get to practice more, especially on the decimals and the thumb rule that I've taught, like shifting decimals to the left and shifting decimals to the right. So you get a lot more practice, which will give you more confidence and you become a pro at solving numericals when you have to use Coulomb's law. Okay, let's get started. So one of the numericals that was given in the previous board examination was 2-point charges QA 5 microcoulomb and QB minus 5 microcoulomb are located at A and B, separated by 0.2 meter in vacuum. So there are two charges. One is a negative charge. Okay, so this is a negative charge. Another one is a positive charge. So there is a positive charge and negative charge, and they are separated by a distance of 0.2 meter in vacuum. In vacuum, it specifically tells the permittivity of the medium is epsilon naught, and we know the value of epsilon naught, and also 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this makes our job easy. Now what are you supposed to find? You are supposed to figure out the electric field at the midpoint O, okay, of the line joining the two charges. Okay, so let's write what is given. So there are two charges at point A and B. So let's call this as point A and let's call this as point B. So QA and QB are given. Okay, this is my plus QA, whereas this is minus QB. Okay, they are separated by a distance of about 0.2 meter, which is your distance of separation between any two line joining charges, which is R, and you are supposed to figure out the electric field at the point O, at the midpoint O. Okay, so which means you are placing a unit positive test charge here. You can call that as Q naught. Okay. So there is a charge which is a unit positive test charge placed at this point, and what is the force, what is the electric field experienced by this charge due to QA and QB. So this will be positive because we always assume the test charge to be positive. So if you have a positive charge here, what will happen to the electric field at this point? It will tend to move away in this direction, right? It tends, and this is plus 5, right? So this is plus 5 and this is minus 5 microcoulomb. So the magnitude is equal. The magnitude of the charge is equal, but the only difference is one has a positive sign and another one has a negative sign. So since both are positive, like charges repel, so this charge tries to repel in this direction. Similarly, now this is negative and this is positive. So Q naught, which is the test charge placed at the midpoint O of the line joining the two charges, would tend to get attracted because unlike charges attract, but will the force of charge of attraction be more than the force of charge of repulsion? How do you get to know that? No, it won't be, because it will be same, because the distance of it, the O is exactly at the midpoint, test charge is placed at the midpoint, which tells us, so this distance from A to O is also 0.1 meter, which is half of 0.2, and this is also 0.1 meter because it is half of 0.2 meter. It is placed exactly at the midpoint. So the distances are same, the magnitude of charges are same, only the difference is just the minus sign. One is attraction and another is repulsion. But since the distance and the magnitude of charges are same, by definition, the electric field experienced at the point A will be equal to the electric field at the at the point O due to A, at the point O due to B, because it is given by the equation 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QA or QB. Since Q and QB both are equal, RE and RB are also equal. It is just Q divided by R square. Here this implies Q is nothing but QA and QB, the charges are equal. R is also nothing but the distance of separation from O to A and the distance of separation from O to B. They are same because it is placed at the midpoint. Hence, you can say by definition, it experiences same force of repulsion as the force of attraction. So, what will be the net charge on O due to A and B? The net charge on O due to A and B is simply the electric field experienced by O due to A plus the electric field experienced by O due to B, but they are equal. Therefore, you can simply write it as 2 times of EO, electric field experienced by O at A. So, you have to only figure this out. Let's find that out. So, EOA, electric field at O due to A, can be given by the equation 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught and QA divided by R square. What is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 to the power of 9. QA is 5 microcoulomb. Micro means 10 to the power of minus 6 whole divided by R square, which is 0.1 whole square. Now, I have already taught you we need to separate the decimals and the whole numbers and the powers of 10. So, whole number is 9 into 5 is 9 times 5 is 45 because I am multiplying this and this, the whole number, and 10 to the power of 9, 10 to the power of minus 6. Bases are same, therefore the powers can be added. 9 minus 6 is 10 to the power of 3 whole divided by 0.1 can be written as. Now, if you want to shift the decimal to the right, what will happen? The power of the index decreases. By how many digits? Since you are shifting only one digit, so this becomes 1.0 into, it has to decrease by one digit because you shifted by one digit, decreases minus whole to the power of 2. Now, 45 into 10 to the power of 3 minus 2 into 2, minus 1 into 2 is 10 power minus 2. 1 into 10 power minus 2, makes no sense. So, it is 10 to the power of minus 2. When it comes to the numerator, it becomes plus 2. So, what is the electric field at the point O due to A? It is equal to 45 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per Coulomb. Using this, what is the net electric field? It is twice of this number. So, just multiply this number by 2. 45 times 2 is 90. So, 2 into 45 into 10 power 5 is nothing but the net electric field, that is EO net, is nothing but 90 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per Coulomb. So, this is the final answer that we are required to find out. So, you found out this answer. So, one of the problems is solved, right? We have another question to it, a part B. What does it state? Let's see what does it state. I'll erase this part and then I'll give you some time to, work it out yourself. If you can't figure it out, then I'm going to reveal it. I hope you are able to figure out the answer for the second part of the question, which is if a negative test charge of magnitude 2 nanocoulomb is placed at O, what is the force experienced by the test charge? So therefore here now they are placing a negative test charge in place of a positive test charge that we assumed in the first case. So the negative test charge that they are placing is minus 2 nanocoulomb. Anyhow, when we are calculating, we don't take we only take the magnitude. We do not bother about the sign, plus or minus sign. This only tells you where the electric field of a force of attraction or force of repulsion is pointing out. So what is the question? Q naught is given to be 2 nanocoulomb. 2 nanocoulomb is nothing but minus 2 nanocoulomb. So you can ignore the minus 2. You can, if you want, you can write, but when you are calculating, we don't need that minus sign because we are only writing the magnitude, right? So it is minus 2 nano means 10 to the power of minus 9, which is now placed at the same point O. So what was R? R is not required because you've been asked to calculate the force experienced by this test charge. So what is the force experienced by this test charge? Force experienced by the test charge is given by, we knew electric field is equal to F divided by Q naught, force experienced by the test charge. In other words, force can be written as cross multiply these two. So Q naught times E. What is Q naught? Q naught is given to be 2 nanocoulomb. That is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 9. What was the total electric field at that point? Then 90 into 10 to the power of 5. So now multiply. 2 times 9 is 18. You have 1 0. Okay, into 10 to the power of minus 9 plus 5 will be 10 to the power of minus 4. Now I want to shift the decimal. Okay, let me write one more step. There is no decimal here, but this can be written as 180.0 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Now, I want to shift this decimal for to the left, 2 digits to the left. So, when you are shifting the decimal point to the left, the power of 10 increases by the number of decimal places you have shifted. So, I have shifted 2 decimal places. Increase means plus 2. 10 to the power of plus 2 into 10 to the power of minus 4. If I'm right, so this has to be 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 2 Newton is the final answer. Did we go wrong anywhere? I do not hope, everything was right. So 180, if shifted here, it becomes 10 to the power of plus 2. So yes, 10 power minus 2 Newton. So this is the force experienced by the test charge at the point O due to the electric field at the point O, right? So I hope you are able to, shift the decimals really well. This is more of a practice. You practice more. Just like I tell you, you become a pro at the thumb rule. Shifting decimals feels easy, and after this, when I take NEET numericals, we'll solve the entrance exam numericals on Coulomb's law to get more practice and more confidence. So, it becomes really easy because you know how to shift decimals, right? You'll get to know that. Let's take another numerical now. Well, it's another board examination question now, and it is very similar to the one that we just solved now, and we have solved very well before. So you must be able to, solve it on your own, but then we will do it together so that we do see what are the common mistakes that, generally students do. 2 point charges, 4 microcoulomb. So earlier case, it was 5 microcoulomb. Here they have made it positive. So you can notice this is a positive charge and minus 4 microcoulomb. So in place of minus 5 microcoulomb as the previous numerical, it is now minus 4 microcoulomb. It's a negative and a positive charge are located 20 centimeter apart. So it was 0.2 meter earlier. 0.2 meter is nothing but 20 centimeters. So it's the same distance apart. Okay. In vacuum, except for, here instead of giving it in the MKS unit, they have given it in CGS. So you have to convert this into centimeter into meter, right? Apart in vacuum, so vacuum permittivity is we know the value, so 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value is known, which is 9 into 10 to the power of 9. What is the electric field at the midpoint of the line joining the two charges? So again, you assume a midpoint O, right? So this is A and this is B, where you have placed your charges. The distance of separation is 20 centimeter. So there is a midpoint O where you are supposed to calculate the electric field. So this is your midpoint. So from A, the midpoint O is 10 centimeter away. So is it 10 centimeter away from the point B. So this is the midpoint O, right? Now here is a test charge, positive charge of 4 microcoulomb, right? This is plus 4 microcoulomb, whereas this is QB is negative, which is minus 4 microcoulomb. So any charge which is Q naught, which is assumed to be the test charge, it is always positive, would experience a force of repulsion from the positive test charge, like charges repel. So it repels in this direction. Now what will happen to the test charge due to B? It will attract because it has a negative charge, unlike charges attract. Will the force of attraction be same as the magnitude of force of repulsion? Yes, that is true. So electric field at O due to A and also electric field at O due to B act in the same direction. They both not only act in the same direction but also have same magnitude, because again the distance of separation from A to O, and from B till O is same, which is 10 centimeter, and also the magnitude of charges is also same, right? So therefore they two add up. The electric field at O due to A is same as electric field at O due to B, except due to A it is moving away, it is experiencing a force of repulsion. Due to B it is experiencing a force of attraction because it has got a negative charge. So you can simply write this as they are both equal. So electric field at O and electric field at B, they are equal, and it can be written as, so in general, how do you write electric field at O due to A? It is written by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QA divided by RA square, right? Also, electric field at O due to B can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QB divided by RB whole square. Now, here we can write QA is equal to QB is equal to both equal to 4 into 10 to the power of minus 6 coulomb. Similarly, RA is equal to RB is equal to the distance of separation here at the midpoint is 10 centimeter each. So 10 centimeter. Now I want to get rid of this centimeter. I want meter in the numerator. So how do you cancel? 100 centimeter, which is nothing but 10 to the power of 2 meters. 10 to the power of 2 centimeter is nothing but 1 meter. Centimeter gets cancelled. So you have 10 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meter, because if this goes to the numerator, plus 2 becomes minus 2. So that is the value of R. So simply the expression can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R square in general, because QA and QB are equal, RA and RB are also equal. So what will be the net electric field due to both A and B? So the net electric field experienced by the point O is nothing but net electric field due to A plus net electric field due to B, which can also be written as net electric field due to A and B are equal. So you can figure one thing out, and so it is the same. So let's find out the electric field at the point A, O due to A, which is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QA divided by R square. Right? You can also write it as RA square. They are both equal. So in general, it can be written as Q by R square. So this is nothing but 9 into 10 to the power of 9. How much is Q? It is 4 microcoulomb. So 4 into 10 to the power of minus 6 whole divided by R is 10 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square. So this can be written as 9 times 4 is 36. Again 10 to the power of, you have 9 minus 6, which is 3 whole divided by 10 square is 100 into 10 to the power minus 2 whole square is 10 to the power of minus 4. Let's simplify the powers. So this can be written as 100 can be written as 10 to the power of plus 2. So 36 into 10 power 3 whole divided by 10 square into 10 to the power of minus 4. You have plus 2 and minus 4. Bases are same, powers can be added. So here it becomes 10 power minus 2. Let's bring it to the numerator. So therefore it will be 36 into 10 to the power of 3. And in the denominator you have 10 to the power of minus 2. Due to these can be simplified as 10 power minus 2. When this goes above, it becomes plus 5, plus 2, right? So this will be 36 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per Coulomb. So this is the electric field at the midpoint O due to A. But what is the total electric field? The total electric field is twice of this. So you have to find that out. Electric field net is 2 times of EA. I don't think we have enough space. Let's do it in the, okay, we can do it here. So electric field O net is equal to twice of electric field at O due to A, which is nothing but 2 times of 36 into 10 power 5, which is nothing but 36 times 2 is 72. So 72 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per Coulomb. Right? So I hope you ended up with the right answer. So these were the answers that you are supposed to figure out. There is again part 2, just like the previous numerical. Here again a 2 nanocoulomb charge is placed at the midpoint O and you are expected to calculate the force experienced by the test charge. So you can use the same method, figure out the answer, and I will reveal the answer in a while. Well, I hope you are able to figure the answer out. If not, let's do it together. So if a negative test charge of 2 nanocoulomb is placed at this midpoint, what is the force experienced by the test charge? So therefore we know that electric field is the force experienced by the test charge, but the test charge here in this case is 2 nanocoulomb, which is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb, and electric field at the point O, that is the net electric field, is found to be 72 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per Coulomb. So therefore from this expression you cross multiply this and calculate F. So F is equal to, if you cross multiply, this will be Q naught times E. So how much is Q naught? That is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 9 into electric field is 72 into 10 to the power of plus 5. So let's do it. 2 into 72 needs to be multiplied. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. So 144 into 10 to the power of minus 5. Minus 9 plus 5 will be 10 power minus 4. So this can be rewritten as 144.0 into 10 to the power of minus 4 Coulomb, because we are figuring out the force. Now I want to shift it to single decimal because that is how usually all the numericals are given in entrance, and you are expected to write the same way. So we are shifting 2 decimal places to the left. What happens to the power? The power increases by 2 numbers, right? Now therefore it can be written as 1.44 into 10 to the power of, it increases means plus. How much will it increase? By plus 2, because you are shifting 2 decimal places to the left, which is the thumb rule, right? To the power minus 4 plus 2 minus 4 is again minus 2. So 1.44 into 10 power minus 2 Coulomb is the right answer. I hope you ended up with the right answer, and I hope you knew how to, convert centimeter into meter. I use the same method that we learned in units and dimensions, right? So I repeat it every time in every numerical, the thumb rule and even the conversions, and also simplifying decimals, because I want, if you are a first timer watching my video, watching only a particular numerical, then also I do not want you to miss the tricks and the tips that I usually give in my videos. Yes, so we have successfully solved the second one, which is again a board examination question. Now I hope we'll take another one, a couple more of board examination questions which are different. Let's see what we have got. Okay. So well, this is a very different kind of numerical which involves a lot of concepts. So you need to understand. If you've understood the concept well, then this numerical is really pretty easy. Okay. Conducting sphere of radius 10 centimeter has an unknown charge. Okay. So there is a sphere of radius 10 centimeter and it has an unknown charge. So let's write that sphere first. Assume this is the sphere. Okay. Of radius how much? 10 centimeter. So let the radius be 10 centimeter. Let's call this is point O. Let's call this is point A. So the radius of the sphere is 10 centimeter. R is equal to 10 centimeter. Now 10 centimeter we need to convert it into meter, which we will do later after reading what is given, whether we require the conversion or not, right? If the electric field from the center of the sphere is 1.5 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton per Coulomb. So they are saying the electric field from the center of the sphere. Now this is something really important. Now let's write the electric field value. Electric field value is 1.5 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton per Coulomb. And points radially inward. So where is the electric field pointing? It is pointing radially inwards everywhere. So if you place a positive test charge, where would the positive test charge move? It would move into inside. It is radially inward. So it would move in this direction towards the center. So that means you have a negative test charge on the sphere. So the electric field is created not by a positive charge but by a negative charge, because by this statement saying radially inward, it means that the electric field must be negative. That is why a positive charge, which we call a test charge, is experiencing a radially inward electric field or force, because they are unlike charges. So that's one point we get. So what are we supposed to find out? What is the net charge on the sphere? Now, so you have to find the net charge on the sphere. So what is the net charge on the sphere? Q net is question mark. Now it is very simple. Even if you do not know the concept, you know you have to only use 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R square. Now you know the value of this, you know the value of this, R is also given, Q only needs to be figured out. So the only thing that you do not know is this, and this needs to be found out. But my question to you is, can I use R to be 10 centimeter? Is the charge concentrated in the center of the sphere, and are you placing the unit positive test charge Q naught on the surface of the sphere, and is the test charge moving towards the center of the sphere? Is that possible? Now, when I taught you distribution of charges, especially linear charge distribution, volume charge distribution, I made it really clear that charges do not reside inside of a conductor, which is not possible. They only reside on the outer surface of the conductor. Anybody who's watching you, I urge you to please go watch my long video on charge distribution, where I clearly explain why can't a charge reside inside a conductor. So if I start explaining the whole concept here again, then I'll have to go back to charge distribution. I'll have to teach you polarization or charging by induction, everything. So there I have told you very much in detail why a charge can't reside inside of a conductor, why does it only resides on the outer surface of the conductor. So since we have already learned, since it has been conceptually crystal clear to us in our last video or description video on charge distribution, we assume here the charge resides on the outer surface of the conductor, because charge can never reside inside of a conductor or at the center of a conductor, and it's been clearly explained in my video. Anyone who is watching for the first time only for solving numericals, please do go watch it, make your concepts clear. It will be clear to you that it only resides on the outer surface of the conductor. So therefore the minus charge is residing only on the outer surface of the conductor. Now, since the charge is residing on the outer surface of the conductor, obviously you are not keeping the charge here, right? You cannot keep the test charge here on the surface of the conductor. So we assume it is placed at a distance of R from the conductor, and that distance R is also 10 centimeter. We assume it, the radius is 10, and you are again placing it at a distance of 10 centimeter. So it is radius is 10 centimeter. From there you are keeping it 10 centimeter away from the center of the sphere. So the total distance is not 10 centimeter here. You have to take it as 20 centimeter, where you are actually placing your test charge, because that is how you keep it 10 centimeter away. Why am I taking 10 centimeter? It's not given anywhere, because I do have only one data which is 10 centimeter, and they are asking you to assume that it is concentrated. The charge is placed at the center. No, it cannot be placed at the center. The charge is residing on the surface. From the surface I take another 10 centimeters away from the sphere, where I assume the test charge to be placed. So the total distance from the center of the sphere is, so the field inside is 0, the field inside of the conductor is 0, the field on the surface of the conductor can be taken into account, but they are asking you that, but they are telling that the electric field is from the center of the sphere is given. So therefore I am taking it as 20. If it was on the surface, if they had mentioned on the surface, I would still take 10 centimeter from the surface of the sphere. But since they are clearly mentioning you have to take it from the center, I add the radius along with the 10 centimeter that I have taken away from the surface. So the total distance will be 20 centimeters, which is 20 into centimeter needs to be cancelled. So it is 10 power 2 and this is 1 meter is 10 power 2 centimeter. So therefore this will be 20 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. Now you have all your values. It is very easy to use this formula and calculate E. So your job is to substitute the values, figure the answer out and give me the answer. I will reveal it in a while like usual. Well, I hope you are able to figure the answer out. If not, let's do it together. So we know the electric field, the center is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R square. Q is unknown. Let's rewrite the formula for Q. So retain Q here. If you retain Q here, you have E R square into, okay, instead of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, since let's not have any confusion, I will call it as K. Okay, K Q by R square. So therefore this will be E R square divided by K will be equal to Q, right? Why did I not write it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught? If I write it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, then I end up cross multiplying 4 pi epsilon naught only. So then I will have to again substitute the value for 4 into pi into epsilon naught, which is 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12. That would be a bit complicated. I didn't want to do that. I mean, if you have a calculator, you can certainly answer it, but this will also give you the same answer. So let's substitute. Time for substitution. So Q is equal to, electric field is 1.5 into 10 to the power of 3 into R square. R square was found to be 20 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square, whole divided by K, which is 9 into 10 to the power of 9. So let's take the powers out. I want the shifted decimal point here, so I will write it as 15.0 into 10 to the power of, if I'm shifting to the right by 1 decimal place, it decreases by 1 decimal. The power of 10 decreases by the same number of decimal places as I shift. So it is 15 into 10 power minus 1. Now into 10 to the power of 3. 20 square is 400 into 10 power minus 2 to the whole power 2 is 10 power minus 4. Whole divided by 9 into 10 to the power of 9. So you can cancel this if you want. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 5 is 50. So 5 into 400. This also I want to separate. 5 into 4 into 400 can be written as 10 to the power of 2 into, you have 10 power minus 1, you have 10 to the power of plus 3, you have 10 to the power of minus 4. Now this whole divided by 3 into 10 to the power of 9. Now let's send this 10 to the power of 9 also to the numerator. So this becomes 10 to the power of minus 9. So now you have 20 divided by 3. So this is easy to simplify. Only thing is we have simplified this part. Let's simplify the powers, right? Let's first add these plus and plus. 10 power 2, 10 power plus 3 is 10 to the power of plus 5. Okay, let's write it somewhere. 10 to the power of plus 5. So this is done. Now 10 power minus 1, 10 power minus 4 is 10 power minus 5. Okay. 10 power minus 5 and 10 power minus 9 is minus 5 minus 9 is minus 14. So minus 14 plus 5 would be 10 to the power of minus 9. So how much is 20 divided by 3? Let's calculate here. 3, 20. If you have a calculator, you can do it directly. 3 times 6 is 18. So 10 minus 2 is, 10 minus 8 is 2 and this will be 0. You keep a point, you get one more. So this keeps recurring. So it's a recurring decimal, 6.66. So you get 6.66 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb. So it's a nanocoulomb. 6.66 nanocoulomb is the charge residing on the outer surface of the conductor. Because charge inside the conductor is 0. So this is what resides on the outer surface of the conductor. So we have figured that out. And I think there is second part to this question. Let's take it up now. Well, yes. So what is the second part of the question now? The second part of the question is, if a negative test charge of magnitude 1.5 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb is placed at this point. So you are keeping a negative test charge. So earlier we assumed the test charge to be unit positive test charge. So here they're giving you certain value is placed at that point. What will be the magnitude of force and the nature of force? Nature of force is attractive because it is clearly been mentioned that there is a radially inward force. So you can directly say it experiences an attractive force or a force directed towards the sphere, right? What is the magnitude and nature of the force experienced by the test charge? So it is simple. We already know the formula. Electric field is force experienced by a test charge, which is nothing but you are supposed to calculate the force. So that is Q naught. Here we assume the charge, the test charge is given Q times the electric field. So electric field value is given in the question and the test charge value is also given. So it's a negative test charge. So therefore, if you include the minus sign later, you can just say it experiences a attractive pull towards the conducting sphere. So minus 1.5 into 10 power minus 9 into electric field value is also mentioned 1.5 into 10 to the power of 3. So 1.5 into 1.5, you know, you can directly write it as 2.25. If you do not know, you can convert. We can directly write it as minus 2.25. You have a calculator also, you can multiply. So minus 2.25, 10 to the power of minus 9 plus 3 is minus 6. Force can be measured in Newton. It is minus. What does the minus sign indicate? It indicates the force is directed towards the conducting sphere. Right? That is all is the nature. So this gives you full marks. You have to write what does the negative sign indicate. So the negative sign only tells us the force is towards the center of the sphere or conducting sphere. You can write the center of the conducting sphere. So that I hope you are able to answer these questions well. I think there's one more board exam numerical I'd like to take in this video, and my next video will be on NEET numericals. We'll start solving previous exam NEET numericals, and a lot of practice will help you. Well, this is a different numerical and a very interesting numerical. In fact, we have solved this kind of a numerical from the textbook, but we did it conceptually. No values were given, but here luckily you have certain values given. So this will be more of a practice to the conceptual numerical that we have already solved from the textbook. Let's see what it says. Okay. So there are the electrostatic force on a metal sphere of charge 0.4 microcoulomb. So you see this is a positive charge. Due to another identical metal sphere of charge minus 0.8 microcoulomb. So the magnitude of charges are different. So there are two spheres. Let's write them down. Let's call them A and B. So this is a metal sphere. I'm calling the charge on this metal sphere QA. If this is the metal sphere A and this is the metal sphere B. What is the charge? The charge on QA is 0.4 microcoulomb. Similarly, the charge on QB is minus 0.8 microcoulomb. So obviously they are experiencing an attractive force, right? In air is 0.2 coulomb. So they are separated in air. So this force between A and B or due to A and B is attractive because one is positive, another is negative. So force due to A and B are equal and opposite, and it is given by 0.2 Newton. It can be minus 0.2 Newton because it is towards each other. Find the distance between the two spheres. So R is not given. So R needs to be figured out. You have the charges, you have the force. So it is very easy to calculate the distance between these two spheres. So that is the first part of the question. Since they are separated in air, you obviously use the value of K as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, which is again 9 into 10 to the power of 9, because for air and vacuum, we use the same constant, right? So let's figure that out. Let's know there are few decimals. We need to separate the decimals and the whole numbers like we usually do, and you'll get the answer. So let's first write the formula. So force in general is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into QA QB divided by R square. R square is not given, so R square needs to be found out. So you can bring r square here and bring f down. So this will be equal to r square is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught can be written as k qa qb divided by f. Now qa, qb, f and k values are known. You have to find out r square and then take the square root of it to figure out what's the value of r. So therefore r square is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught as 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into qa and qb. Qa, qb values are given. Let's ignore the negative sign. So therefore 0.8 microcoulomb, 0.8 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into 0.4 microcoulomb. So 0.4 into 10 to the power of minus 6 whole divided by what is the value of force? The force value is 0.2 Newton. So let's remove all the decimals like I usually do. So 9 into 10 power 9, 0.8 I would like to write it as 8 into, if I want to shift the decimal to the right, the power of 10 decreases by 1 because I am shifting to 1 decimal place, into you have 10 to the power of minus 6 into 0.4 again I am shifting the decimal to the right. So the power of 10 decreases by 1. So power of 10 decreases by 1 into 10 to the power of minus 6. Similarly, we will do the same thing in the denominator. I want to shift the decimal place to the right. So 2 into 10 to the power decreases by 1 because I am shifting to the right and I am shifting only by one number. So now let's separate these things, whole numbers. So 9 into 8 into 4 divided by 2. This is the whole number part. So what do you have in the powers? You have 10 power 9. So 10 to the power of 9 plus you have minus 1 minus 6. So let's write that minus 1 minus 6. So these are also done. Then you have again minus 1 minus 6. So bases are same, powers can be added, whole divided by 10 power minus 1. So this 10 power minus 1, if it goes to the numerator, you can directly write it as plus 1. Right? Now 2 times 1, 2 times 2, right? So this will be 72 into 4, 9 8s are 72 into 4 or 16 times 9, you can do anything. 72 into 2 will be 4, 144. So this will be 144, right? Now what will be this? Let's figure this out. 9 minus, let's do the minus first. So 9 plus 1 is 10, minus 1 minus 6 is minus 7, minus 8, minus 8 minus 6 is minus 14, minus 14 plus 10. So you have minus 14 plus 10. So minus 14 plus 10 is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 4. That is r square. So r will be equal to square root of that number. This can be written as square root of, let's separate again the powers and the whole number. So this can be written as 12 whole square. 12 into 12 is nothing but 144, 12 whole square. So this can be written as 10 to the power of minus 4 can be written as 10 to the power of minus 2 the whole square, and then you have a root square and root gets cancelled. So what is the value of r? It will be 12 into 10 power minus 2 meter, or in other words it is 12 centimeter, because 12 centimeter is nothing but 12 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. This was a very beautiful numerical where we got to practice a lot more with decimals and it made our life easy. We also took a square root. So now let's see the next part, which is the most interesting part, where I spoke about the conceptual thing that we have already learned. We will use it here and figure the answers out. Well, yep, so here's the very interesting part where you are finding the distance between the two spheres. Yes, that part is done. We have cleared this part. And also find the force between the same two spheres. Okay, we have to figure the force. The force is given, but why are we finding out the force? Let's see what's the catch. Find the force between the same two spheres when they're brought into contact. So you're bringing the spheres into contact. So sphere A and sphere B are now brought into contact and then restored back to their original position. So this we have done conceptually. So what happens when you bring the two spheres together? The charges redistribute. So what will happen? So the net charge on the sphere on the system will be charge on A plus charge on B. Right? What is the charge on A? Charge on A is 0.4 microcoulomb. Charge on B is minus 0.8 microcoulomb. So the total charge on the net system now is the minus 0.4 microcoulomb. So now when you separate them by the same distance, that is 12 centimeter, so what will happen is this new charge on the sphere A will be the net charge on the spheres divided by 2. So QB dash will also be the net charge divided by 2. So what will be QA dash? QA dash now will be the net charge, which is minus 0.4 microcoulomb divided by 2. This is also the charge on B. So both the charges is equal to minus 0.2 microcoulomb. So using this and the distance of separation, which we have already calculated, because now they are brought back to their initial position, which means they are now separated by 12 into 10 power minus 2 meter or 12 centimeter. Now use these values and figure out the value of F. I hope you were able to try it out. If not, here's the reveal. So the force now between the new charges is F dash is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, which can be called as K, into QA dash into QB dash. Now since they are equal, divided by R square. QA dash and QB dash are equal, minus 2 microcoulomb minus 0.2 microcoulomb. So you can simply write it as KQ square divided by R square. Let's substitute the values. 9 into 10 to the power of 9, and this was 0.2 into 10 to the power of minus 6 whole square divided by R square was 12 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square. So therefore, let's separate the powers and the decimals. So 2, if you shift the decimal to the right, the power decreases by how many numbers? You shifted only one decimal place, so it decreases by one number. So 10 power minus 6 the whole square. We'll do that later, right? Now 12 square, let's write it as 12 into 12 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square is 10 power minus 4. Now it's time for separating the powers. It is 2 square. So 9 times 4 is 36, or you can just write it as 9 into 2 into 2, right? 9 into 2 into 2, because you have 2 square. Now let's do this. 10 to the power of 9. 10 power minus 1 whole to the power 2 is 10 power minus 2. 10 power minus 6 whole to the power 2 is 10 power minus 12 whole divided by, you have 12 and 12 in the denominator into 10 to the power of minus 4. If it goes to the numerator, it becomes plus 4. So 2 times 6, 2 times 1, 2 times 6, 3 3s are 3 2s are. So you have 3 divided by and 3 1s are and 3 2s are. So 1 divided by 4 is the answer here. 1 divided by 4 into 10 to the power of 9 is plus 9. You have minus here. Let's do this first. Minus 2 minus 12 is minus 14. Minus 14, 9 plus 4 is 13. So therefore 13 minus 14, 1 by 4 is 0.25 into 10 to the power of minus 1. Let's shift the decimal point to the right. So I can write it as 2.5 into, if I'm shifting one place to the right, it decreases by 1 into 10 to the power of minus 1. So the final answer is 2.5 into 10 to the power of minus 2 Newton. Right? So that's the final answer. I hope it was interesting. All the numericals were from different board examinations. So these are the kind of numericals that you can expect for your board exam as well. So the next numerical will solve more and more numericals in Coulomb's law, especially from the entrance examinations like CET, NEET and IIT JEE. So it is basically all the entrance examination questions, and you will really enjoy solving it with me. I'm looking forward to upload it soon. See you then. See you till then. If you take care of Coulomb's law will take care of you.